Eylon, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Good to see you. We still await news from Hamas about the peace offer that's come out of the White House some days ago now. Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump having an agreement to end the war, to release the hostages, to get Gaza back on an even proper footing with nothing really connected to Hamas. But strangely, and I know you tweeted about this, a lot of people who wanted a ceasefire some weeks ago have gone all very quiet about it.
Yeah, isn't it funny that all the people who've spent 2 years crying genocide, starvation, and war crimes seem in absolutely no rush to end it? And that's how you know that they were making up ridiculous allegations. This is a war that Hamas launched 2 years ago, and it's a war that Hamas is in no rush to end. The whole world is saying Hamas must end the war by freeing the hostages and laying arms. President Trump has put a bold proposal on the table to end this war Hamas started, and it's dragging its feet. It's buying time. That's why it's important. President Trump is saying, you've got 3 or 4 days to respond, because if you don't give us a yes, Israel is going to have to finish the job. And, you know, Israel is saying Hamas is going to be removed one way or another. Either we're going to do this the easy way, or we'll have to do it the hard way.
I mean, I suppose in the real world, it's unlikely that Hamas are going to agree to defenestrate themselves and become a non-entity organisation that no longer has any power. It's not likely they're going to go along with that, is it?
Well, let's be real. The deal on the table are the terms of Hamas's surrender. I would have preferred that Hamas surrender unconditionally. Instead, we're having a negotiated surrender. But this is about Hamas admitting defeat. This is about Hamas admitting there is nothing left to fight for. And if it continues to wage war, well, more of Gaza is going to be destroyed as Israeli forces try to destroy those tunnels that they've dug under literally in Gaza. That's why we need pressure now on Hamas and its state sponsors, Qatar, Turkey, to tell Hamas it's game over. You have no choice. You have to end this. But you're absolutely right. Hamas has proven that it's not only genocidal, it's also suicidal. And it's really willing to fight to the last person. It doesn't care how much damage, how much destruction, how much death it brings. That's why we need pressure on it to say, look, it's game over, end the war.
Yeah, because it doesn't suit Hamas's purpose for there to be peace, because with peace comes no need for their existence.
Exactly. Hamas exists for the sake of war. It calls itself an armed resistance movement. And it says it will never give up its weapons, which, by the way, is why it's hard to imagine that it will accept this deal, and why it's possible that this will collapse and Israel will end up having to remove Hamas. But this is the really important point, Mike. There is a real chance that Hamas, despite having its back against the wall, will reject this plan to end the war. And then what are we going to hear from world leaders? Well, it can't be pressure on Israel to end the war anyway if that means abandoning the hostages or accepting that Hamas stays in power and its terrorist army is still armed. If Hamas rejects President Trump's plan to end this war, world leaders must say, we back Israel 100% in removing Hamas.
Eylon, thank you.